told us that a good religion enabled you to bridle your tongue. Today he goes on to tell us that pure religion, I am in James 1:27, pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Let us look at that. To visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Now, all of these equal to deeds of love, especially to the poor and disadvantaged in the church, and that is in your particular church family. Love will cause you to care about children who do not have a father or a mother. Love will cause you to care about those children, especially if they are in your church family. Love will cause you to care about the widows who have no other family except their own church family, and they are destituted, they are in need, they are struggling. Love will cause you to care about that group. Paul calls them widows indeed. Now, this caring means to say more than, if you need me, give me a call. If you need me, let me know. No, it means that if you see a need in a widow's life in your church family, and she's destituted, she is a widow indeed, and she has no other family except her own church family, and you see a need in her life, then love will cause you to volunteer and meet that need. You won't wait until someone asks you. You see it, so you volunteer to meet that need. Let me read 1 John 3 and 17. But whosoever has this world's good and see, you hear that word, and see his brother have need, and shutted up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwell the love of God in him? So, love will cause you to see a need in your church family, a person who is destituted, and we're not talking about a user, but a person who is truly in need, and you see that need. Love will cause you to volunteer to meet that need. And then verse 27, part B, says, and keep himself unspotted from the world. Love for God, love for the Christian faith will cause you to keep yourself unspotted, that is, uninvolved from the sins of the world. 1 John 2 and 15, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man loveth the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world is the lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, the pride of life. All of these things are not of the Father, but is of the world, and we are not to love the world. And James is telling us to keep ourselves unspotted from the world. If you really want to show that you are genuine in your Christian faith, then you would keep yourself unspotted from the world. I remember back in seminary, Dr. Penn, one of our professors, he gave this illustration. He said, to invite you to a steak dinner, grade A steak, and we take it off the grill, and then I bring that steak to you on a garbage can top. Would that turn you off? Would that make you say, I don't think I want that? Well, the life you live is the platter that you serve your testimony, your witness of Jesus Christ on. And we're saying keep yourself unspotted from the world. If you live a shady life, then this is what you are serving your testimony of Jesus Christ on. And so this is what James is telling us, to keep ourselves unspotted from the world. And here's another thing concerning our Christian faith that James get into, that I have to warn you, please, please, please. If you are a member of his church, then you cannot serve your Christian faith on the platter of respect of person. No, he's king on that. Do not have respect of person. Let me read this for you, and we're going into another chapter. Now we are in chapter 2. You say, wow, that lasts. Yes, we're in chapter 2. I'm going to read verse 2. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with respect of person. And that is, have not the Christian faith with respect of person. And that is, the Christian faith would encapture the whole New Testament. So you cannot have the New Testament as your rule of faith and practice, and yet you have respect of person. So James gives an example of what he's talking about when he says respect of person. For, verse 2 through 4, for if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring in goodly apparel, and there come in also a poor man in vile raiment. Verse 3, and ye have respect to him that weareth gay clothing, and say unto him, sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand over there, or sit under my footstool. And then he asks the question, are ye not then partial in yourself? Are ye become judges of evil thoughts? And the takeaway is this. James is saying that it is wrong to have respect of person, especially in the church among sisters and brothers in Jesus Christ. Now, you will find respect of person in the world, and perhaps sometimes it's necessary but it should not be in the church. In fact, the church is a complete reversal of the world system. You remember one day, well, not just once, but they often did it, Jesus' disciples, they jockeyed for who would be the greatest in the kingdom. And one day, Jesus called them out on it. And we find this in Matthew 20, 25 through 27. Jesus called unto them and said, Ye know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. But it shall not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. And this is another way of saying we should not have respect of person in the church. And he asked the question, if you do, are ye not partial in yourself and are become judges of evil thoughts? You see, it's evil judgment to determine a person's value based upon what they possess. That's evil in your thinking. You remember one day God sent the prophet Samuel to Jesse's house to anoint one of his boys, and the first one came out tall and handsome, and Samuel said, certainly this got to be the one. And God said no. Said, you are looking at the outside, but God looks at the heart. And to have respect of person is a hard problem that the fruit of the Spirit will help us to correct. And we're going to stop here for now, and we'll take it up next time if it be the Lord's will.